Hello, my name is Doris, and I am here to share a junk journal that I made. This journal is a vintage children's reader from 1940, and it measures approximately 5 1/4 by 7 1/2, and it has a 1-inch spine. It has 2 signatures with approximately 76 pages. On the spine I have put some vintage fabric, vintage lace, and also rickrack on there as well. This is the back. For the closure I've used one of these hitch post fasteners, and then I've have a hair tie closure on here. I've also added vintage lace on some of the pages, and there are some fabric tabs as well. Let's begin. So in this journal I have used 2 different scrapbook paper pads throughout, and this is from one of them. This is a cut apart that I stitched around, and then I just inked the edges. This is a cut apart. The front and back panel are scrapbook paper. And on this first page here, I have a tag that's from a cut apart, a piece of vintage fabric, and a friendship definition from an old dictionary. And then a pocket here from a stationery planner that I had, and some washi sticker here. Also in the binding you can see there is some blue washi here. This is Stampin' Up! That they used to have. Also in this journal there are parts of 3 different printed digitals from nevermorecreation17.com. And this first one here is from the Lindsey's Wisteria and Roses Junk Journal Kit. Here's another scrapbook cut apart. Some more washi down here. This here is a fabric flip, and the top of it is from a valance. And underneath this is a piece of feed sack fabric that I got from a shop on Etsy called Fabric Thread Needle. And then down here at the bottom I have a stamp that I did from a Fisker's collection. And any of the coffee dyed paper you see throughout the journal is also from nevermorecreation17.com. And then on this page we have another printed digital kit from Nevermore Creation 17. This one is, I believe, Beautiful Petals. And I added a little bit of a cat footprint there, and that footprint stamp, let's see, that one is from Rubber Stampede. And then here's a journal card from the digital collection, and on the back is some avocado dyed paper that I stitched on. And anywhere you see the avocado paper throughout the journal, that I received from Jessica at 2 Silver Oranges. Another part of the digital from Beautiful Petals. This is some stationery, and then a stamp I put on here from Stampabilities. I did a lot of stitching throughout the journal and a lot of vintage lace that I had too. It's a library card that I got from Above Par Crafts, and then I just put a stamp on there, also from the Fisker's line, I believe. And you're going to see pages throughout that are from the actual book. The butterfly stamp you'll see throughout the journal is from a company called Stamps of Life, and I've used that several times throughout. And here we have our first fabric pocket with lace on the top. And this I give full credit to my friend Diane H., who I discovered on Etsy, or I'm sorry, Diane H. on YouTube, and she has an Etsy shop called Pretty Pink Cottage. I absolutely love her work, and she has a lot of wonderful vintage items in her shop, so go check that out when you get a chance. This here is a cut apart from the scrapbook collection, and also another cut apart. Another stamp here. This one is from All Night Media. And some washi on here. This is from a vintage children's music book. I just added washi on the edge there. It's pretty fragile. And then again, that avocado paper. Here we have a stamp called Wild About Flowers stamp set that's from Stampin' Up. Here is a collage cluster that I received from my pen pal Carolyn Baker. Carolyn, if you're watching this video, I hope that you are continuing to get better and can get back to crafting really soon. On this page we have part of the scrapbook paper. This here is a guest check from Creations by Jinx on Etsy. Some more vintage stationery. This here we have a Pictionary card. I backed with some cardstock, stitched it around, and a little bit of lace. And this little ticket is from Amore Fabriques. And Salena has lots of wonderful items in her shop to check out as well. A cut apart from the scrapbook collection, a paper doily that I've added, and this is the bottom of the guest check on the previous page. There's some children's vintage writing paper. Also, I found this fabric washi. I'd never seen that before, and I found that at my local craft store. Here we have some more of the fabric or the measuring tape washi, vintage card, playing card. And this tag here is also from Jessica at Two Silver Oranges. She does wonderful, wonderful work. I can't say enough good things about her tags and her journals, and she just has lots of wonderful things as well. And then I added a vintage seam binding on the top there. Another cut apart from Beautiful Petals digital kit. Another fabric flip here with some seam binding and rickrack. Down here we have a Rolodex card with some Aida cloth and an applique, and another part of a children's music book. Here we have Beautiful Petals printable kit that was another one of her cards, and I backed it with the avocado paper from the other shop. Some more stamping down here. This is also, I believe, a Fisker stamp. Then on this page we have a different style guest check that I've put some a vintage doily underneath here, and this is from a vintage botanical book and a book plate that I just kind of ripped and inked the edges of it. And another stamp. This one also was from the Stamps of Life. This is another pocket that came from the printed digital kit Beautiful Petals. Children's music page. Scrapbook cut apart is there. Here we have some stationery. This is from let's see, Holly Hobby, and I just took a few sheets of it, cut it down, and stapled it together. And tucked that inside of a cut apart there. Here's another cut apart. So you see there's a lot of room to journal in this book. Here another beautiful kit. This is Wisteria and Roses. Another pocket. This is a scrapbook cut apart, and what I did here was I added a stamp, and then this mailed stamp I received from Two Silver Oranges, and I just edged or inked the edges to kind of help give it a blended in look, like it actually came, like the card came like that in the mail. So that's the end of the first signature. Here we are, the second signature. Another cut apart from the scrapbook collection. This here is a little envelope, cute little envelope. And this came from a little junk journal kit from Random Paper, etc. Thought I'd put the card in there, that way I couldn't forget who that was from. And another stamp from Two Silver Oranges. Wisteria and Roses paper. Some more cut aparts. On this page we have some green stamps. I just backed onto some old writing paper, coffee dyed writing paper. Another one of those vintage botanical book plates. I just kind of tore and inked the edges, made it like a pocket. Here's a scrapbook cut apart. And yes, if you think this looks upside down, yes, I did accidentally put that upside down. This here is a butterfly bag, something else I received from Nevermore Creation 17. And this is just one piece of all the many different little ephemera pieces that came with the collection. And then I just added this little tag in here. More cutter parts from scrapbook paper. And then on the back of this cutter part, I backed it with Nevermore Creation 17. I believe it's something like floral finishes stationery pack. More washi tape. Another tag, this one from 2 Silver Oranges, and I added, again, some seam binding there. Another stamp from Stampin' Up! Wild About Flowers. This particular stamp here, I believe that might be a, oh, that is a Stampin' Up! Stamp as well, and that's from old stamp set called Perfect Penance. Oops. Another cut apart. Another stamp here, another one from Stampin' Up! This one's Delicate Details. Here are some ice coupons that I received from eBay. They were really fragile, so I just backed them with a piece of cardstock. Another cutter part, I just put a little brad in there. And on the back here is a merchandise tag. This came from Diane's shop, Pretty Pink Cottage. And the stamp again is from 2 Silver Oranges. This is more of the Wisteria and Roses kit from Nevermore Creations. And then on this spread, what I did was this strip here, the belly band, was actually on this side of the page, and I just cut it off and put it over here. Tried to do something a little different. And then we just have a library card catalog card here. That's the center of the signature. And then this envelope again is from 2 Silver Oranges, or avocado paper. And then I just have a gardening stationery. Looks like it's from my home state of Michigan. And it has a couple stamps on there. These stamps are, I believe, Kaisercraft. So there's a deer and then a little bunny right there. And I backed all of this onto some cardstock. Up here we have a little bird that I just cut out of scrapbook paper, and it has a vintage piece of lace behind it with a piece of coffee dyed paper. And another little birdie here. This one's from All Night Media. Just put that on the back of some more coffee dyed paper. Here's a cut apart from scrapbook paper, a guest check. That one, I'm not sure who that came from. I have received several different types of guest checks from different crafters. Another cut apart from the Beautiful Petals collection. Here's some scrapbook paper. Or, I'm sorry, not scrapbook paper. This is just coffee dyed lined paper. And I just added a little bit of the fabric trim I've been using throughout the book, and a little bit of lace there. And then inside is just part of the book that I'm currently using. And there's also some vintage seam binding back here as well. Another stamp from Timeless Textures, Stampin' Up! Fabric flip with some vintage rickrack. And another birdie. This is from Stampin' Up! Stamp set called An Open Heart. Then we have another botanical book plate. I just put on the back Lindsey's, her stationery that she had. And then here's scrapbook paper that I lined with some lace. And then I just put the name of the flower. I just kind of fussy cut it out and put it on here and inked it. Another scrapbook cut apart. Beautiful petals. Pocket. This came from a gift bag. Just a little tag that you write to and from on. Another cut apart from scrapbook paper. I just add a little button and paper trim. This tag is from that butterfly bag I showed you back a little ways. Then here we have a children's math card. I just put a little washi tape on that. And this is a tag, was originally a tag in the, I believe, Wisteria and Roses digital kit. And I just cut the end of it off. And then Lindsey also has a patchwork kit, I believe. And I just fussy cut this image out of it and glued it on. I thought that looked pretty good. Excuse me. On this page we have another library pocket from Above Par Crafts. Cut apart, the scrapbook paper. Put a little bit of a scrapbook paper here and avocado paper there just to give it a little texture, and some washi tape. And then on the back page here we have, this is a vintage little envelope with some washi and cut apart from the scrapbook paper. Just a couple more little cut aparts there. And then finally, just more from this book that we're using. This is Fun with Your New Words. And just a beautiful vintage book I've enjoyed using. And that is it. Here's the back. And thank you so much for coming along with me today. I hope you will join me again as I create future projects. Thank you.